In this video, we're going over 6 signs you're on the wrong path in life. But don't worry, if you are noticing these signs in your life, I'm also going to give you how to shift this and how to get onto the right path in life that is right for you and how to determine what that is. That's coming up next. Hi there, my name is Dave and this is HeartSpace. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. And on this channel, we make videos every single day from my heart to yours to help you live life in your way. That means living a life of fulfillment, living from your heart space, just living in a way that brings more joy, happiness, abundance, and all of those good things into your life. And so if you want to learn how to do that more and more, hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss any videos that we release. Now today, I want to go over 6 signs you're actually on the wrong path in life. You know, a lot of times it's not only about learning what is going to be the right thing to do or what to add in your life. Sometimes you have to look at what you need to cut out and also what you need to shift to something else. And when you become aware of the problem or the thing that is holding you back, only then can you start to shift it. So if you discover that some of these signs are resonating with you, it is not a call to feel bad about it. It is just a call to awareness so that you can go, okay, how can I alter this so that I'm moving more towards my purpose, my life path, to one that resonates with me. So without further ado, let's get into the very first one. Now we're going to start very simple with number 1, and one that actually can be the most powerful, and it's you just feel it. It's intuitive. You intuitively know in your soul, in your heart, in your intuition, that you're not on the right path. And it keeps coming up time and time again. You keep feeling it and you just know. Like if you actually think about it, maybe a part of you denies it, maybe a part of you tries to hide it, maybe your ego comes in and tries to justify why. No, you're actually on the right path. But deep down you can feel it. And sometimes even this feeling is becoming more and more and more where it's getting harder to push it away or to dismiss it. And if you're feeling that way, I mean, it is the biggest sign really that you're on the wrong path, because your feelings will not lie to you. Your intuition will never lie to you. You don't feel these things coincidentally. They're there for a reason. Your heart is always going to be trying to guide you towards what is going to serve you the most in your growth as a spiritual being in a human body, that serves you the most in becoming who you're truly meant to be and connecting with what you truly are. And so if you're not on that path, your heart is going to tell you, and it will get louder and louder and louder over time, usually, unless you've really been suppressing it. And so if you just feel like I'm on the wrong path, it's a good idea to start looking at what you're doing and go, okay, what is right for me? What is it my heart is resonating with? Because clearly it's telling me that I'm not on the path that my soul wants me to be on right now. So if that is something you are experiencing, at least look at your life and what you're doing and the path that you're on and see if there's something that you might want to shift. Number 2 is a huge sign that you're on the wrong path, and it's negative synchronicities. Now, we all know, I would assume, most of you watching this channel, what a synchronicity is. These are positive confirmations, essentially the like being attracted from the like that you are sending out. Meaning if you're sending out positive vibrations, you're sending out happiness, joy, love, and these kinds of things, you're going to be noticing synchronicities that are aligned to that. But if you're sending out hatred, anger, jealousy, have you ever noticed that someone who's doing that seems to get a lot of people who are also angry towards them, or bad things seem to happen to them? And those are negative synchronicities. They're always in sync with whatever you're sending out. That is what synchronicities are. And so, for example, in my life, I notice positive synchronicities every single day. And here's a little tip. If you want to notice more positive synchronicities in your life, start writing down when you see them. Call them positive confirmations. And so every single day, I've gotten in the habit of, at least in a little journal, writing down 5, 6, or sometimes even more, if I'm really on top of things, of all the positive synchronicities that have come into my life. For example, it might just I see a beautiful thing in nature. It might be some money comes in a magical way. It might be one of my videos blew up and I didn't even notice. It might be just anything else that I'm excited about. It just makes me feel grateful, love, and those good emotions I will write down. But if you're noticing negative synchronicities just time and time and time again, this is not a coincidence. This is very much the universe giving you an indication that, look, you're receiving these things because you are projecting these things out, because you are expressing yourself in that way and receiving these things back. Negative synchronicities are always meant to be wake-up calls, and if you ignore them, they tend to get louder and louder and louder and louder until they're impossible to ignore. But you don't need to get to that stage where it's doing an incredibly loud and possibly very detrimental thing to your life before shifting and changing. So anytime I start to notice any little amount of negative synchronicity in my life, I look at it and go, okay, What's happening? Is there something wrong with my thinking? Am I moving in a direction that's more heady than heart-based? Am I doing something for the wrong reasons? And when I look at it and I figure out what it is and shift it, it always goes back to those positive synchronicities. And again, one way to tell you're on the right path is if you're seeing those positive synchronicities a lot. But if you're noticing those negative ones, please, again, take a look at things and ask yourself, what is it that's bringing these things in? Because it's very much meant to be a tool for you to look at your life and really ask yourself, am I connecting with my heart, following my heart path, following what feels good to me and exciting to me, or am I not? And if you're seeing those negative synchronicities, more chances than not, you are not. Number 3 is similar to the intuitive feeling, but your path just doesn't excite you. Following your feelings is one of the best things that you can do. And I mean, at the highest level with the most successful people, this is what they do, regardless of what you think. A lot of people think it's all about the strategy, it's all about the hustle. It just isn't. A lot of times it's about doing what you love and the excitement. If you are not excited about the path you are on, that is a huge indicator that it's not the path for you. For example, if you're just going to get a certain degree in a certain field because you were told to, but it doesn't excite you, it's probably not a good path to go along. There's going to be a lot of struggle, a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights, not because that just comes with the territory, but because it doesn't excite you. There are people that have what would be considered stressful jobs that absolutely love it and actually aren't stressed at all because they don't mind working 16 hours a day doing that job because they love it. In fact, some of them, they only have to work like 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day, but end up working more because they love it so much. And that's where you really want to be. You want to be excited about what you're doing in every area of your life. This does not just mean, oh, I'm excited in this area and in this area. Because guess what? If you pee in one part of the pool, you pee in all of the pool. Right? I love that little analogy. I love that little quote. It will seep into every area of your life. And so if something in your life you're doing is just not exciting, you're not excited about maybe the result it will bring or the process of it or whatever else it is a huge indicator that you're on the wrong path in that area or in general. Now, I want to just make sure we are separating a couple of things here. Lack of excitement and resistance are different things. Lack of excitement and resistance are different things. You can still feel excited and have resistance towards the thing. So what do I mean? You could be excited about the idea of getting healthy and working out, but feel resistance towards working out because it's not habitual and your ego and mind are coming in saying it will be so hard and whatever else. So understand, resistance a lot of times actually means it's the thing you want to do, but your ego is trying to prevent you from doing for many different reasons, which we can cover in other videos. But don't confuse the two. It's not like, I really want to do this thing, but that would be so much work and this and blah, 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 and your head's coming up with all these excuses. And resistance, that's not a feeling. Resistance is not a feeling. It is a thought. It is a mind construct. We're talking about feelings. If you're moving towards something and you're looking at it and you just feel stress, you feel shame and guilt, you feel obligation, that is what you should not be moving towards. What you're moving towards should excite you. You should feel a level of love towards it. You should feel a level of passion towards it. I mean, a lot actually. You should have a burning desire for its achievement. And if you don't feel that on the path you're on now, it might be time to look at, should I really be on this path? And what path does elicit that feeling for me? And then start moving more in that direction. Number 4 is one that's actually not talked about a lot. And this sometimes is the missing piece when it comes to you achieving your goals, when it comes to you actually following through on the path that excites you and not having resistance. And the last one, I mentioned how resistance will trip you up. If you allow resistance to trick you into thinking it's the feeling, you will actually be taken away from the path you're meant to go down. But resistance is something that causes a lot of people to stumble because some people do know what they want, but then they're met with resistance for certain reasons and then they give up on it, right? They know they want this certain job, or they want their love life to be a certain way, or they want to have independence financially, but then they'll have a certain level of resistance towards something and give up on it, and then their ego will come in, they'll justify it, whatever else it is. So number 4 is you don't believe you can achieve it. Here is kind of the crux of success, of actually becoming successful. If you don't believe you can do it, you won't. If you don't believe you can do something, you won't. And it is only until you believe you can do something that you'll actually be able to do it. Here is the magic formula to achieving what it is you want to achieve, to actually being able to move down the path that excites you, and then actually achieving it, getting there and being excited about it, and actually keeping that excitement. You will be excited about things that in your current level, at your current level, current state, you believe you can achieve, but also you have a burning desire for. So when you have a clear focus and you are excited about that clear focus and you believe that you can do it, you will achieve it. It's that simple. And so if you are on a path right now, so this is a very nuanced one because it might be you're on the right path, but you've set a goal that is so impossible for your mind to attach to that you're going to sabotage yourself and not do it. And so all you need to do in that case is find the sweet spot. So find what it is that excites you, but also you believe you can achieve. Now here's the thing, a lot of people go like, well, I'm supposed to think big. I'm supposed to, really think bigger than I could have ever possibly. I'm not saying you can't do that. You will get there. But you'll never get there if you don't build yourself up to the point where you can believe you can achieve this. Because you will never, ever, ever, ever achieve what you believe you can't achieve. Nothing will fall into your lap, or nothing will fall into your lap pretty much always, but you will not be able to accomplish anything for the most part that you don't believe you can accomplish. You will be able to accomplish everything you believe you can accomplish and truly, genuinely believe you can accomplish. So here's the magic formula. Excited, you're following this path and you're excited about it. That's the first one. And you believe you can do it. So let's say, for example, let's use a very clear example. Let me give you a very clear one. Let's say you're very excited about the prospect of becoming financially independent. Like that's so exciting. Like, oh my God, I want to become financially independent. I want to become financially free, whichever one. But then you go, okay, I'm going to set the goal, $10,000 a month. And let's say you've never even gotten close to $10,000 a month. And you think about that and you're like, well, I'm excited about financial independence, but I don't know if I can get $10,000 a month. I don't believe I can do it, blah, 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 blah. Then that's not the path to go. But maybe the path is $5,000 a month. And then you think about that and you're like, you know what? Yeah. You know what? That would help me feel much more independent financially. But, making $5,000 a month or whatever, doing something I love. But I also believe I can do that. And then guess what? After you do that, because you're excited about it and because you believe you can do it, so long as you follow that path, you will absolutely do it. And then when you've done that, then maybe you can get to the one you originally thought would be the one, 10,000. Because now you're like, wait a second, I've done 5,000 a month. I can do $10,000 a month. I 100% believe I can do that. But it will shift your thinking because you now have experience, because you now have evidence for your mind that this can be done. And nothing will be done if you don't believe in it. So just keep that in mind. If you don't believe you can do it, you're setting these high standards and goals that you have never gotten close to before and you don't believe you can do it, you won't. Now, for some people, they're able to set goals that are so beyond where they currently are, but they actually believe they can do it. And then it's absolutely fine for you to go for it. I mean, maybe you've never made six figures, but you feel like you can make $1 million and you genuinely feel like you can. Then go for it. As long as you can believe it, you can achieve it. So number 5 is the path that you're currently on is not one that you chose without influence. And what I mean is it's not one that you chose, it was given to you. Whether it was given to you by your parents, by a teacher, by a sitcom or TV or whatever else. If you have been conditioned into believing you need this job, that job, or that job, and again, the excitement isn't there or any of these things, it's probably not the right path for you. For example, I've known friends who have become doctors because their parents wanted them to become doctors. And in very rare cases, maybe the kid actually has a burning desire to become a doctor and actually is excited about that, and their parents want them to be that, and it's just a perfect match. But 99.9% of the time I found, especially with people I ask about this, they don't, but they just do it to appease their parents. If you do anything out of obligation or to appease anyone else, you are always doing a disservice for you, and it will always indicate you are on the wrong path as far as your soul, your heart, your intuition is concerned. And you will never be fulfilled on that path. And so I'm not saying don't take that path because, for example, someone might have said you should become a lawyer because whatever, and you actually might be excited about that. All I'm saying is if you're doing something, and it might even be the idea was put in your head as a kid and you don't even realize it's not coming from you, just to question it and be like, is this actually my choice? Is this something I have while looking at everything, feeling everything out, chosen? Or is it something somebody else put into my head? Is it something that I've been conditioned into? Is it something that I'm doing because someone else wants me to do it? And just determine if that's a yes or a no. Now, if it's a yes, for me, that's the wrong path. And you're probably already getting the indication, you might even feel the first one, which is the intuitive feeling that it's the wrong path. Even if it's giving you certain things, it might be giving you money, it might be giving you, notoriety, but it's still not what you want to do, right? And so if it is something someone else has given to you as in like, oh, you should go do this, or actually you have to go do this. Typically, it's not what you truly want or what your soul truly wants. And again, just question it, just have some discernment, be open to something different, and see if it's actually what you want. And number 6 is one that it isn't always the case that you're on the wrong path that this is happening, but again, just like the last one, the majority of the time it is. And it's you're doing something that a lot of other people are doing. You're taking the safe route. You're doing, like, for example, you see a lot of people doing something and we get into these herd mentalities. We get into these mentalities where we feel like we have to do what everyone else does because of goop, the good opinion of other people. We're scared of that. And so we might not even know it. It might happen kind of slowly over time instead of like you being aware this is happening. But if you're doing something that like the majority of people are doing it, it's like such a popular thing, a lot of people do it, a lot of times it might be misaligned. Now, not always. For example, a lot of people I know became teachers, but I also know people who genuinely love teaching, right? So they love their teaching job, but I also know people who know it's not going to be the thing they're doing forever and they're looking for their way out. I also know people who hate it, right? And so just because it's something that's popular and you see other people doing and it seems like a safe route, it has medical and it has all these benefits, doesn't mean it's what your heart actually wants and doesn't mean it's the right path for you. Again, it can be, but a lot of the time it isn't. A lot of the time it isn't. So even for things like that, that seem like, oh, that's a good option because many people are doing it, at least question it. I'm not saying you have to go out, quit your job and blah, 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 and then go like, wait, I actually liked that. Again, this is about following your excitement. This is about following what your soul is leading you towards. But I'm just saying question it if you're doing something that a lot of people are doing. Because again, we have herd mentalities naturally. We like to follow the pack so we don't stand out, so we're not seen as weird or a social outcast. This doesn't serve you, however. And so you want to look at, maybe there's something unique you want to do. Maybe there's something completely different, but you're doing something that the mainstream approves of simply because the mainstream approves of it and other people do it. So just take a look at that and see if that's the case for you. And if it is, you can start looking at what truly excites you. And again, take the steps to hopefully move more onto that pathway. All right, so those are 6 signs you're on the wrong path, and I also gave you some things you can do to alter yourself to the right path. Now understand this is an awareness piece. I'm not telling you to do anything, even to believe me. Use discernment with this. These are just my ideas and what I feel strongly about and what has come through me when it comes to this topic. I don't know if it's resonating with you. I don't know if it's right for you, but if it does, again, if you take action and it feels good to you, I can almost promise you it'll work out. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down below, future videos you want to see, all that fun stuff. Remember that you are loved. Again, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to grow yourself, to connect with yourself, to watch these videos and implement this stuff. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.